I'm Chris Ferzoco.
And I'm Joe Ferzoco. And Chris, today we're going to do a little DIY stuff here.
Yep.
7 things you should never store in your garage. And that doesn't necessarily mean your car or go-kart or anything like that. But 7 things you should never store in your garage. But before we get to that, Chris, let's go hit the town right now.
All right, Joe, so 7 things we're going to discuss today that you should never store in your garage. However, you want to tell us what?
If this is your first time to the channel, please subscribe below, tap that bell for instant notifications, and please hit the like button. You'll be the first to get the most up-to-date market information, trends, happenings, whatnot here at the Jersey Shore. You know, Chris, we get calls, texts, emails every single day from great people looking to buy or sell here at the Jersey Shore. You know, we cover a very vast area, about 32 miles actually of coastline, from Brigantine all the way down to Cape May,
Yep.
and of course all the towns in between. So you've got Brigantine, Ventnor, Margate, Longport, Ocean City, Sea Isle, Upper Township, Avalon, Stone Harbor, Cape May Courthouse, North Cape May, North Wildwood, Wildwood Crest, West Wildwood, Diamond Beach, Cape May Villas, and I think I said North Cape May twice. So folks, all of those areas we cover down here at the Jersey Shore. So if you're looking to buy or sell, please give us a call, shoot us a text or an email. It'll be our pleasure to help you out with all of your real estate needs down here at the Jersey Shore. And whether that's next week, next month, 6 months from now, or a year from now, please don't hesitate. Just reach out and we can certainly put a game plan and your goals together for what you're looking to do down here at the shore. So Chris, let's get started now with 7 things that you never need to store or should not be having in your garage. Why don't you get us started?
Yep, so the first one I'm going to start with, Joe, is actually art. Okay, so look, I mean, this might seem fairly logical here, and I'm not talking about something that little Johnny or little Susie may have made in art class or something like that, and that is important. I understand that, and that's something that could probably stay in the garage. It's okay. But if we start talking about an investment opportunity or an investment product, you know, art can be very expensive. Would not recommend you keeping your art in the garage. It may not fit the house that you're in right now. It may not go with the property that you're living in right now. So you may not have a use for that piece of art, but it still costs you money, and they're still very valuable. So the reason you don't want to do that is the garage actually has a lot of temperature fluctuations, obviously between winter and summer, and in this part of the country, we have a lot of humidity here in New Jersey. So if you have a lot of humidity in your area, you don't need the temperature fluctuations and you don't need the humidity fluctuations because it's going to compromise the integrity of your art piece. So that would be the first one I would recommend. Don't keep art that is an investment or something that's costs you money. I wouldn't keep that. Has value. I wouldn't keep it in the garage.
Okay, very good. So Chris, the second thing I'm going to actually look at is important papers. Now, I mean, how often do you need like your Social Security card? We used to have those. Social Security cards, your passport, things like that, or title work and things to that nature. You don't really need those very often. Okay. However, you don't necessarily want to be keeping that kind of stuff in the garage because, much like before, moisture and humidity that can get in there and it can really kind of ruin the paper that those things are on. They can also attract unwanted pets. They come in and they're all of a sudden deciding they're going to jump into your paper and things like that. So they're going to get ruined anyway. So, and they can become a little bit more of a nuisance when it comes to that kind of stuff. So again, paper products, they don't really take up a lot of space, but keeping them in the garage is not necessarily a place that we would really recommend for something like that.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. And kind of along the same line that you're talking about, the next one for me is going to be your books. Okay. So if you have books that obviously you're not reading any longer, don't put them in the garage because again, the moisture, and this is a common theme here, but the moisture and the temperature changes can actually damage the integrity of the book. The book can get moldy. It can obviously gets moisture, the pages start to stick together. So it ends up just destroying the book in general. So one, if you're not reading it, maybe find a library that you could donate it to or a local store that you could donate it to and get it back out into the public. There are people that still like to read actual physical books and not just on their iPhones or other tablets, right? So there's an opportunity for that too. Or if you happen to have an opportunity to have a bookshelf in your house, get the books up in the bookshelf. That's where they belong ultimately, Joe. So, but books, I would not keep the books in the garage either.
Very good. So I'm going to go with another item here, Chris, for stuff in the garage. pet food. We talked a little bit about this with like underneath the kitchen sinks and whatnot. Do not store pet food in your garage. I would say one of the most basic things with that becomes the fact that, you know, it's a 40-pound bag, it's kibble, it's food. That is definitely going to attract rodents and varmints. You're not looking to, you know, come into your house or into your garage area. So, you know, that's a terrible, terrible idea. And, you know, they're not only attracted to the scent of the food, but they can eat through the paper, they can contaminate the food and all that kind of stuff. So keeping your pet food out in the garage, not a good idea. That's a no-no.
For sure. All right, so the one, Joe, next on my list is paint.
All right.
Okay, now it's not bad to have paint in your garage if you're in the middle of a renovation project, if you're in the middle of a painting project. So it's okay to keep the paint there. It's not going to really affect it too much over the course of just a few weeks or a few days. However, long term, the actual temperature changes, right? Extreme heat and extreme cold will actually affect the paint and it will destroy it. Paint is actually not going to really last longer than 2 years when it's stored anyways, but when you have these extreme fluctuations in temperature, it actually will actually ruin the paint itself. So again, that's something you want to keep in an area that is a steady between 60 and 80 degree temperature. That's where you want to store your paint. And sometimes obviously the garage is going to have a lot more extreme fluctuations. So not a good idea to hold your paint in the garage for the long term.
All right, very interesting. So here's another item that, you know, we don't always really think of because it's, you know, we talk about these temperature changes and things like that, but so wine. Now, I know you've just got your wine order, you get the extra box for the summer, you get the extra box of wine for the holiday season, and you have extra, but you don't have that wine cooler, you don't have that wine rack in the house, so you'll keep it in the garage. Not a good idea. Again, because what we've talked about before, the extreme temperatures, you know, wine really does get affected by the environment, the temperatures to which they are actually stored at. White wine's cooler, red wine's warm. You know, you want to make sure that those are kept in the right places and the right temperatures for serving, you know, purposes down the road. So even though they're extra and they're in the box or in the case or anything, garage is not the place to keep those extra ones.
Well, and Joe, the last one on the list that we have today, folks, of these 7 things, number 7 is actually going to be your clothing or linens or textiles, right? So think about it this way, right? So you have like your favorite sweatshirt, your favorite sweater, and now it gets to be summertime, you're gonna keep it into the garage. Well, you know, again, you're gonna have the opportunity there for some mold and stuff like that, and some just growth to end up on the fabric there because of humidity changes and temperature changes. At the same time too, think about it, that if you actually are storing some of your linens and you're storing clothing in your garage and it gets really, really cold in the wintertime and you happen to have a little guy running around who's looking to get warm because it's really cold out there, that's gonna make for a fabulous nest. So little rodents, moths, or anything like that can get into your fabric. They're gonna eat that fabric up. They're just gonna destroy it anyway. So anything, any linens, any type of outerwear that you're not using for a certain season, get it in a bin, put it in a different area. But again, keeping that stuff in your garage because of the opportunity for rodents or moths or anything like that to get in there and just destroy the product. It would kind of stink to take out your favorite sweatshirt in the brutal cold winter and open it up and there's a big hole in it. Because something else decided to live there.
That would stink.
So folks, these are our 7 items that we determined that you should never be storing in your garage. And Joe, for any other videos for folks out there that we watch, we do hundreds of videos we have available now, from DIY projects to market statistics to what you can get for a certain price range here at the Jersey Shore. We have a whole host of different videos out there. So if you're interested in seeing what else we have to offer, go check out those videos. And if you ever have any real estate questions, don't ever hesitate to reach out to Joe and I. We're here for any and all of your real estate needs. Until next time,
we'll see you at the beach.